We are and will always be the missing link and the last piece of the puzzle to get out of this chaos into order. But we should first stand shoulder to shoulder. For humanity, we are the past, the present, and the future. There is no meaning to the world without Egypt. We were and will always be the fine line between what is right and what is wrong, good and evil, victory and defeat, because we are Egyptians. You gotta know it, you gotta feel it, and you gotta believe it. We should not be consumed by our differences. Our devotion to our unity should be absolute and above anything else. As we approach an unprecedented situation that surrounds Egypt from every corner, I felt an obligation to remind myself and my fellow Egyptians who we really are and what is our true essence. This is Mohammed Farid and this is Empower Knowing Program. Welcome back, dear viewers, for a new episode. In this episode, in order to go forward in this country and in our lives, we should first go backward to mine our culture and our heritage, to excavate our best values, norms, and morals. To be able to move forward and face the enemy, we should go backward to energize our souls with the many victories of our ancestors. The enemy knows what we know, but what the enemy doesn't know is our true limits. For that reason, we need to push our limits this time during this unprecedented situation to an unimaginable levels, like our ancestors who built unbeatable civilization from scratch. Push our limits to a level that would make you wish you were not born, exactly as our enemies wish our annihilation. If we don't exert that much effort, then the future of this country and the future of our children will come hard, and we will not be part of it. We will find ourselves in an unfamiliar territory, a territory where we cannot keep the glory of our founding fathers, and we will not be able to keep up with the speed of the future progression. Then we may cry like women on a kingdom we couldn't guard like true men. No matter what happens, we should fight against our enemies. We should fight for our lives. We should fight for the unity of our own lands and our nation. We must fight because we are a nation that has refused to die throughout its entire history. Despite the many attempts to get rid of us, we must remain steady despite all the distractions that come from the Egyptian fugitives and the enemies of our state. Being steady and ready could be the difference between life and death for our nation. But make sure that our salvation from this chaos they want to push us into is still possible. We shouldn't also forget that death is imminent too. As long as we are surrounded by our own enemies, they are like demons. They know no fatigue, no fear, and they will not give up until getting rid of us. So if we become tired just for one moment and doubt the endeavor of our president and our government to make Egypt a better place and a safe haven, then our death will be imminent. When we let fear, fatigue, and doubt sneak into our minds, where the real battle is, then Satan will divide our unity and will break our coherence. If you let Satan obsess you, then he will not make you doubt your president, your government, and yourselves, but also will make you doubt the words of Allah until you lose your faith in Allah and give up your strength to defend this country. For that reason, you should always remember that the words of Allah are your shield and your strongest weapon. You must feel the rhythm of the battle in your minds and your hearts before you lose your soul. The name of Lucifer came from a Latin term, which means the light bringer. Satan or Lucifer will shine his false light upon us all. Lucifer will try to crack the deepest point of our minds to reveal our deepest secrets and our deepest pain. He will try to use his pain and those secrets to pierce our souls through his fancy tools like Hollywood and social media, through his demons who are the Egyptian fugitives abroad, through defaming and smearing campaigns against anything being achieved to our nation. They are constantly morally assassinating our president, our government, and our symbols to render everything that they do for our nation irrelevant. We mustn't ignore them. They are as much demons as tools as in the hands of the West. So let them feel that we as a nation are like a puzzle, hard to solve, easy to recognize, and impossible to dismantle. Let's have faith in Allah first and then believe in our president and our government next. Remember that we are fighters at schools, universities, work, and even at home too. We fight every day for our living and our own existence. We may change our swords, tactics, and methods, but make sure that the day that we may lose our faith or change our beliefs will never come. We as Egyptians are destined to save and change the world to make it a better place. We also need to know that the devil comes in many forms, not only through Hollywood, media anchors, and social media, or even through his fugitive demons, but also through sleeper cells, sympathizers, and absent-minded people in our nation. They will keep coming back in different forms until you are willing to pay the ultimate price, your soul, and give up your land. So it is very important to learn how to connect the dots relating to the network of demons before it is too late. We should go back to the first step in the chain of events to know where our vulnerability is. I know that it is too painful what I'm asking you to do, but we need to know that there are two types of pain in this world. Pain that hurts when we lose our faith, resources, dignity, families, culture, and land, and the pain that changes. And the pain I see is good, is the pain that helps us to change to be better. Let's all embrace that kind of pain, and let Satan's helpers know that we are not going to be in their story. Instead, they are going to be just dirty lines to be written and forgotten in the story of our great culture and civilization. The story where Egyptians will always amaze the world with their strength and unity. We cannot fall into the trap of the Western single narratives toward our president and our government. We should know that their narratives are so many and so attractive and powerful. They come to us like a storm, and to face a storm, we either go through it and break their narratives down into pieces, analyze them, and build our own counter-narratives back, as powerful and attractive as theirs, or maybe more. But we should never wait for the storm until it comes to us, wishing it will go away peacefully. It will sweep us out of history. What I'm trying to do is to help you process the magnitude of the change around us. We need to know that our deepest fear, that we may feel we are inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we are so powerful beyond the measures, and we may not feel it. One example of what I mean is the 6th October War in 1973, when we were able to defeat what they call the invincible legend. It is our light that frightens us, not darkness, because we doubt being capable. So enough playing small, because playing small doesn't serve our nation to stand tall, and in that way we will not be able to support our president to work harder. We all are meant to shine and rise so that our people and the neighbors around us feel secure again. And this light that is meant to shine is not just in a few Egyptians, but in us all. And as we let our own light shine, we give other people permission to do the same. When we liberate ourselves from our fears, then our existence automatically will liberate others. The name of Egypt is enough to give the deepest feeling of being safe, secure, and comfortable. The reason why President Sisi said it is not appropriate for us to worry is since when Egyptians felt afraid of death because of the Renaissance dam, or dividing Sudan, or being threatened from the north in the Mediterranean Sea, or even from Libya. Taking our lives is nothing, but taking our glory and the very soul of our nation is everything. That is what we really should be afraid of. So we should keep guarding our hearts, souls, and our minds against Satan and his demons. Because once you look into the darkness of fear and your heart, mind, and soul are taken, there is no way back again to normal. Satan and his demons will not let you. Don't believe anything that is being told by those fugitives. Learn to know the difference between truth and lies. The truth is always simple. Once you see a simple saying, know for sure it is the truth. The reason for the truth to be simple is to be easily understood, and the reason for some people don't believe it, it is because of its unbelievable simplicity. Only the wise with their eyes open will see it. This is why our President Sisi is always talking in a very simple way. There is no need for him to talk in a complicated way with us like the fugitives do. Finally, I will end my episode today with a verse from the Quran and another verse from the Bible. The Holy Book Quran says,
The Holy Book of the Quran says, And hold fast, all of you together, to the rope of Allah, and be not divided among yourselves, and remember Allah's favor on you. For you were enemies one to another, but He joined your hearts together, so that, by His grace, you became brethren, and you were on the brink of a pit of fire, and He saved you from it. Thus Allah makes His ayat clear to you, so that you may be guided.
And the Bible says,
Jesus knew their thoughts and said to them, Every kingdom divided against itself will be ruined, and every city or household divided against itself will not stand.
Please take this episode seriously. Think about every word inside of it. Know your true essence of being afraid. Everything is going to be okay. I promise. See you. Bye.